my name is Mandy Blackburn, and I chose my short presentation to be the good life for an indigenous population, specifically what constitutes the good life for Alaskan Natives. Starting with the traditions and values, Alaskan Natives are a diverse group. There's multiple different types of Alaskan Native, and they all have their own traditions and cultures and things that make them unique from others, including languages and different even dialects of the same language. However, there are some things that appear to be universal between all of the groups. In a native village, especially in a more traditional manner and less of the modern manner, successful hunters are respected and valued because they are the lifeline for the village. They're the people that go out and they hunt for the meat that is the food for the village for a majority of it. They depend on bringing in game animals and large game animals in order to survive through a winter. In addition, women who can take care of the family as well as butchering and cleaning their husband or their brother or their father's kills are considered extremely desirable and are highly respected for their skills. Women who can go out and gather berries and other vegetables and tree bark and other things that are useful, in addition to being able to break down an animal and assist her family in that, is highly respected because she's useful and she's valuable as a member of the community to help them survive. In a rural village, traditionally, and even to some extent today, emotions, especially those that are harmful to the general cohesiveness and harmony of the family group, are kept in check and are rarely shown. Children are taught this from a young age, that if they share their emotions, it could cause hostility in the family group and in the community in general, and hostility between people means they're not working together as well as they could be, which means that there's a risk of the whole population suffering from that single hostile feeling or treatment. The village's elders are treated with respect. They're the teachers. They are storytellers that advise people by giving them examples from their myths and from their family groups. For Alaskan Natives, everything is connected in a spiritual way, and therefore a hunter or a gatherer or a fisher or someone else that uses the land and what is found on the land must be sure to show appropriate humility and honor and respect to anything that he or she kills or uses. So a hunter who goes out and kills animals and treats them with respect is likely, in their belief system, to continue to be a successful hunter, whereas those that go out and are disrespectful and don't honor the spirits of that which they take or have killed are likely to not be able to find game animals again and not be able to provide for the family, or at least that's what the belief system is in many of the Alaskan Native groups. For Alaskan Natives, the good life in a traditional view is made up of a balance between their physical needs being met, time with their community, and also to a certain extent the balance of their spiritual life. This means overall that they have a warm shelter, they have abundant food, or they have the ability to easily go and collect food. So there's plentiful game, or they're able to find game easily. There's other access to seafood or shellfish or something else that makes it so that they're not concerned about starving or going without. It's important for them to have time to share stories and pass on knowledge, because this is all traditionally in a verbal manner. It wasn't something that was typically written down, and so there must be time to actually sit and tell the stories enough times that the next generation remembers them and can pass them on. It's also important to them to have that balance between the physical and spiritual world. They want to make sure that they're not offending the spirits that could possibly come back and harm them or take things away from them in their traditional belief system. And also part of the good life is a harmony between all the community members, so that everybody's working together and their lives are easier because everyone has the opportunity to go and do the things that they need to do, but also the things that they want to do, and have it all work well. For justice and policing, traditionally there were no police officers or justice force technically for the rural villages. The people would gather and go to the village council with complaints against someone, or the victim would go and approach the family members, and they would attempt to do a type of restorative justice to bring both the victim and the offender back into the community. This was extremely important because the village required so much and depended so much on the harmony and good working order and cooperation of the overall group. In order for the good life to be attained or continued, everyone must work together and be beneficial for the community as a whole. In general, the good of the community is placed above the good of the individual because it is the best chance of survival for most people, and this is what led, in the view of many scholars, to the the oppression of emotions seen in many Alaskan Natives. If the restorative practice does not work, the last resort is banishment from the community. In more modern times, the Alaskan Natives depend on village police officers, village public safety officers, and the Alaska State Troopers for policing. The Western justice system doesn't complement their view of the good life well and causes difficulties when implemented. Typically, Alaskan Natives are trying to assist each other, and the Western Society of Justice tends to just see a need for punishment and take somebody away. But banishment is the final option in many native cultures, and so for someone to be banished for something as simple as possibly theft is very alien to them. Some tribal councils are, however, being given the opportunity to hear cases for civil matters and minor offenses to try to bring back some of that restorative justice and bring back some pride and some independence in the communities that are calling out for some type of repair and fix for the problems that they're having. Only time will tell whether this approach will begin to heal some of the disparities between the Alaskan Natives and the Western society and those who have since moved into Alaska and have begun to change the overall culture of the state.